Hey, it's Jason Heath here, and I want to talk to you today about my new favorite music app. I haven't been this excited about a music app in years. It's called Modacity, and that's both an app and the name of the company. The CEO and co-founder is Mark Gelfo, who's a horn player, used to be in the Hong Kong Philharmonic, and has played for weeks and weeks with the San Francisco Symphony. He and I got together recently in San Francisco and talked through the app. And for the last 6 weeks or so, this has been my daily practice companion. I love it so much. It's obviously designed by a musician with just real attention to the details. And it's taking you through a certain method of practicing that I think is really helpful. It's just incredibly useful in developing deliberate practice. I'm recommending it to all my students, anybody I play a gig with. So let's walk through the Modacity experience. So we'll open up the app here. And here is my current what's up. So you can see I've had a 5-day streak, 13.8 total hours of practicing. I made 11 improvements. And then you can see I have these different playlists: main routine, upcoming recital, hour routine, and that sort of thing, and then some favorite pieces too. So let's just look at what happens when, well, first of all, let's talk about the interface. So this is your home base right here. Now, this right here, these are your playlists. So you can create a new playlist. It really functions a lot like Apple Music or Spotify or anything that you might use like that in terms of music. If we go in, we have practice items here. So these are all the things that I'm currently practicing, and you can see you can favorite them or not favorite them. You give them a star rating as you're working, and we'll walk through that. But each one of these items we can then click into. We can see like general technical work. Click on there, and you can see all these stats, right? So this week I've done 26 minutes of general technical work. Last week, 224. This month, last month, and we got this nice graph, average session duration, recordings, okay, which I haven't done of this, notes, and history. Okay, so what I love about this is rather that for years and years, I was making a practice list at the beginning of the day. What was I going to practice? And how was I going to do it? And it's so much more useful for me to make that in terms of a playlist. So let's just look at my main routine right now. These are my, this is what I'm doing these days. And so I start off with general technical work. So let's just click through this. We're going to just start this routine. So this is hit start. And now you see I've got general technical work. Now, for some reason, I put a timer of 30 seconds, which I don't want for that. So let's actually go back out here, and I'm going to clear that timer. So I can set timer. I can actually remove the timer. Okay, so now I click into general technical work, and what you're seeing, this is the default. It's just keeping track of your time. Simple, right? But just having that, I can't tell you, and this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about detail, just having that count in that timer, that alone really makes you think about the time you're spending while you're practicing. Now, look at this middle right here. We've got the recording button. So if I hit record, boom, I'm recording. Now, I'm obviously not playing my instrument right now, just recording my voice, but you can record as long as you want. Then you press stop. Record, boom, and then here we are. That's just a playback of what just happened, and then it stops. And the default behavior is you can just go on and it'll just delete that. Now, if you wanted to save that recording, you press this button and you can save the recording. And that's super cool. What I love about that is most of the time, I don't think you really do want to be saving all your little like 4-bar recordings or 8-bar recordings. So I like that that's the default behavior. What this has done for me is it has made me record myself so much more frequently because it's just right there. It's inviting you to press that button right there. Now, it took me a little while to wrap my head around this, but this is a killer feature of Modacity. If you go down to the lower left and you click this button, this is deliberate practice mode. So what do you most want to improve? And you can enter your own thing or you can choose something. So let's just choose something, consistency. Okay, then let's try to work on consistency. So you can see here's some here's the next level of what you want to be thinking about in terms of consistency. Let's say do it 3 to 5 times the same. Click. Now notice it has the recording button again, which at first I thought, oh, I don't know if I want to record this work, but I found it so useful and so time-saving to actually record and listen back and analyze. So if I record and then I play whatever, and then I press stop, it'll play it back. You listen and think about it, and then you see, did this create the improvement you wanted? Yes, no. Let's say yes. Great, nice work. Do you want to practice this improvement again? Yes, I want to do it again. So you can do it again, press the record, do the work, and then we stop, listen back. And what I love about this is it's separating the act of performing from the act of analysis. And Mark and I talk about this in our interview. Definitely check that out. But it's, you don't want to be constantly analyzing everything you're doing in a performance setting. That's not great for your performing. That's not great for your auditioning. Obviously, we need to analyze and reflect, but separating it out like this, I find that so useful for Modacity. Okay, so we're going to say, did this create the improvement you wanted? Yes. Do you want to do it again? No. Now you go back to general technical work. You notice the timer's still going. So it's kind of like a sub-routine within your greater routine. Now, if I want to take some notes, you can see down here, I've taken notes of what I want to be working on. They appear as these little cards right here. Now, if I click notes, you can see they appear in a checklist form. So I can add a new note. I can say, okay, I did this, done, and it's gone. You can check out your archive notes. You can hide your archive notes. It's a great way to just keep everything organized. And again, recordings. Here we go. I don't have anything saved, but if I did. So even within this practice routine, I'm practicing right now, I can click around and I can see my history of this item. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Now, this next thing is the second from the left, the Metronome. I love this. Again, talk about being conceived by a musician with a musician in mind. The details are just so good on this. So first one is just this tap feature. If you're trying to figure out a tempo, I tap, 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 and it just goes. It understands. Okay, that might not seem like a big deal, but most apps don't do that very well. Then I can increase and decrease the tempo. Then there are also subdivisions. So I can get eighth notes going, triplets, 16th notes, go back and forth. Again, this is standard metronome functionality, but the way it's implemented, I think, is really nice. Then it's a drone, too. So you can change the octave. You can have it sustain. And then Metronome. I've been using this a lot. I think it's really cool. So I put on G. Let's say we're going to play something in G, and I press this. So you can change the duration as you're doing it. And it's just really super, super useful. And it's just right there at the bottom of the screen. You can call it up and dismiss it whenever you want. Now, this is a mode, then we can go in and we can set a timer. So let's say we want to do something for 10 seconds. So we're working in our routine, right? Now we've got a 10-second timer. Obviously, we'd want to do longer than 10 seconds probably. But then we let the timer tick down. Tick, 1, 0, time's up. Great. And then, I love this, it then goes back, clear that timer out, and it goes back, see? So you can clear the timer out, and it's still counting down from when you started doing general technical work. So it's like a subroutine. Let's say, oh, I really want to work on this particular articulation or what have you. You can set, okay, I want to do this for 5 minutes and then be done. So it's still timing your session, but you can have this subroutine. Very cool to me. Then there is this feature, which is, again, I think a killer feature. But help, I need help practicing. Give me some advice. I have not used this feature yet, but I can't wait to see this develop. And I know people have been using this, and Mark says it's been really effective. It's kind of like a practice buddy whenever you need it. Okay, so now let's say I'm done with technical work. I hit done, and it says, how to go? Rate your mastery. And let's say, it was okay. I'm going to give it 2.5 stars. Hit that. Now, it immediately moves on to the next thing in the list. Okay, so now here we are. in Stroken. It's another technical item. So I'm going to get out of this right now. I'm going to go to something that I have recorded. So here's O de España. So I'm working on O de España. Let's go into notes, and I can go to my recordings. And look at that. I got a couple recordings. So you have archived recordings. Everything you've done in terms of archiving, it's here. You can look. I've only done this a little bit, but I've got stats on that. So it's stats on every individual item. And then I'm going to exit this routine. So before I do that, the cool thing is it just goes through every item of your routine in sequence. And you can change this. You can just grab and drag. So let's say I want to do this right after Sturmetudes. Let's say I want to remove gig music. So just like a playlist, now it's gone. So it just walks you through the routine. You hit finish. Congratulations, 7 whopping minutes of practice, 5 days in a row. Done. So now let me take you into the global stats. So let's go. Before I do that, Metronome, you can call it full screen if you just want to practice with all those features. There it is. Let's go into overview. So this is like your global practice info. So you can see this week, here's what's been done. And you can see daily, you can see, I can zoom out and I can see all sorts of stuff like that. And then these items, like can't stop running, I can click on, well, I guess I can't click on that, but what can I do here? I can do recordings. So here are all my recordings that I've done. Goals, that was that deliberate practice type of mode. History, now we can get in. I love this history mode. So this is, I used to try to record what I did on a given day and write it down, and I have all these practice journals at home dating back years and years. And so it's so cool to just have that all tracked like this. It's really helpful when you're working on something to be able to look at all this info. So love that. Now let's go back to home. And last thing I'm going to show you here is a timed routine. So yesterday I was practicing and I didn't have much time, but I wanted to get a lot done. So I created what I called our routine. So you can see here, I've got all these different things I was practicing broken up into 5 or 10 minute chunks. So I start my routine. And here it is, boom. And notice the timer's ticking down this time. So I have 5 minutes to tune, and then I do that, and it will say time's up. I'm just going to get through it right now, say done. Then I go into boardwalking, and I do 5 minutes of that, and then it'll just say done, and it'll advance to the next one. And you can have a combination of this. Okay, so that's a great way. If you just have X amount of time, you can really budget it out like that. Congratulations, 20 seconds of practice. Let me go back into my main routine and just show you. Like, let's say I don't want all those timers on for everything, but for Stroken, I want 5 minutes. So I can do 5 minutes. And now I start my general technical work, do that, and then I am done with that, and I hit done. And how to go, let's say 3.5 stars. And now it goes to Stroken, but it's ticking down. Oh, I guess I set 50 minutes. But you get the idea. You can change this so that it is going down or up, depending. Click done. You can remove these timers just by going in here and deleting that. So now there's no timer. And you can also, what are details? There we go. We can get into all of that same info that we can in the actual item. Okay, so that is a quick look at Modacity. I may also do a video of me actually practicing with it so you can see it in action, but hopefully that's helpful. Modacity.co is the website. Check out my interview with Mark Gelfo. That's coming very soon, and I'll link up to that in the description for this video. I'm Jason Heath. Really glad that you stuck with me for this, and definitely check out Modacity.